The male protagonist buys a hot dog, but his niece disappears. He takes out his mobile phone and is about to call his niece, but at that moment, the mobile phone suddenly showed no signal. He looks around. Other people were holding phones and talking to each other. It seems that their phones also had no signal, which is very unusual. Since 90,000 people are watching the World Cup in the stadium of Nova University, it is impossible to block all the signals of the whole stadium. He suddenly thought that when he was buying a hot dog just now, he saw a sun tattoo on the back of a worker's ear. As a former Marine, he was familiar with this type of tattoo. This is a symbol of terrorists in Russia, but in the stadium, how can the terrorists infiltrate? At that time, he didn't think much about it, but now it seems that things are not so simple. The fact is just as he expected when the audience was all immersed in the intense World Cup match, a group of terrorists had quietly penetrated into every corner of the stadium. They not only blocked all signals, but also closed all the entrances. A stadium with a capacity of 30,000 people was long ago under the control of terrorists. To find the niece as soon as possible, he finds a staff member next to him and asks for the location of the other party's monitoring room. Only through the monitoring of the stadium could he find the whereabouts of the niece. Knowing what happened, Faisal doesn't hesitate and takes him directly to the monitoring room. However, the security guard at the door of the monitoring room has a different expression. At first, he resolutely refuses to let them enter the elevator directly to the monitor. But after that, he had to give way until he noticed Michael's anger. In the elevator, Michael suddenly discovers that the security guard's work permit is not his own. A security guard finds out that his identity was exposed and was about to make a move. The two sides immediately started fighting fiercely in the narrow elevator. Fortunately, Michael promptly picked up Faisal's pistol, then neatly handled the security guard. In order not to scare everyone, Michael moves the body of the security guard to the toilet. In the bag of the security guard, he also finds some bombs. Someone wants to launch a terrorist attack here, now that he is more stable in his judgment. However, terrorists will not act alone. Michael knows that it is impossible to solve this crisis by himself, and he must rely on the strength of the police. He found a walkie-talkie from the security guard, used the knowledge he had learned in the army, and adjusted the walkie-talkie to the police channel. But when he explains the situation, the moderator assumes he was playing a prank, and after Michael's insistence, the new moderator reluctantly agrees to call the commander at the yard lobby for verification. However, the command center in place at this time has long been taken over by terrorists, and the call from the switchboard was also blocked by the commander. The dispatcher further believed that Michael was playing a prank and forcibly closed Michael's alarm channel. Not only that, but bigger troubles also follow. Terrorists abruptly request that each member start reporting the number to ensure their safety. The security guard who was removed by Michael is naturally unable to report the number. He rushes with Faisal to find another way out. The mercenaries quickly discover a missing team member, and they send someone to the restroom to find the missing member's body. The leader of the mercenary group was very angry when he heard about it, but he believed that he would never be a policeman because the police would not arbitrarily throw a body into the bathroom. Whoever it was, he swore that he would find that person and tear him to pieces. Using the surveillance system in the stadium, they quickly find Michael's whereabouts, and the two terrorists quickly pursue them. At the same time, Arcady also takes the initiative to negotiate with Michael through the walkie-talkie. He claims that as long as Michael gives up resistance, he will guarantee his safety, otherwise he will be smashed to pieces. This kind of trick can't deceive the experienced Michael. How could a terrorist keep his promise? But Michael is also keenly aware of the imminent danger. To safely deal with the cruel terrorists, he asks Faisal to escape from the restaurant's food delivery channel. Before leaving, he asks Faisal to take a picture of his niece, asking for help finding her. After Faisal just left, two terrorists were chased here. The two sides immediately launch a fierce battle. After a thrilling slaughter, Michael successfully eliminated the two terrorists. He also drags the body of one of them into the roof of the stadium and throws it out from a height, because only in this way could it attract the attention of the police. Of course, a few minutes later, police arrived and surrounded the stadium. At this time, the terrorists in the stadium have a new movement. They have hijacked the live broadcast room of the event and are using the live broadcast method to convey their purpose to the outside world. It turns out that they came here to find a man, the brother of the terrorist leader. 17 years ago, the two brothers were the leaders of Russia's People's Army, but then the brother defected to the revolution, fled to England for asylum, and also had plastic surgery to hide. After his brother's betrayal, the revolution quickly failed, and the terrorist leader had to hide for 17 years before receiving news of his brother again. Knowing that he is watching this World Cup game today, the terrorist's purpose is to bring his brother back and let him lead the revolution again. Arcady said the police must reveal his brother's location before this match ends, or else 100 kilograms of explosives placed in the field will turn this place into a hell on earth. At this time, except for the 30,000 live audiences immersed in the intense game, everyone in front of the TV realizes the horror level of this crisis. If the police are not careful, it will turn into the worst terrorist attack in history. The terrorists see Michael's face clearly through video surveillance and then find out his identity by invading the government's website. Not only that, but they also learn through the ticket purchase record that his niece is also in the stadium. They change their tactics, using the radio to lure Michael's niece to show up. The girl no doubt hears the broadcast and rushes to the designated place. Michael, who heard the broadcast, was extremely anxious, but even if he tries his best to stop his niece, because he was blocked, he could only watch her step by step toward the terrorist claws. At the moment of crisis, Faisal suddenly appears and hides in the crowd with her, and she escapes. Seeing the niece reassures Michael a lot. Now his first task is to find a way to get his niece out of here as soon as possible. While looking for the exit, they accidentally found 100 kilograms of explosives buried under the stadium stands. Through contact with the police bomb disposal expert, Michael learns that this pile of explosives must be detonated through a remote control device, and that the remote control is tied to the terrorist leader's wrist. To prevent the bomb explosion, the only way is to get that remote control. This task is obviously only the male protagonist can complete. At the same time, the police say that Michael needs to go find the brother first and hand him over to the police before he can go get the remote control of the bomb. Otherwise, if Arkady finds his brother first, the bomb will also be detonated. Michael took advantage of the situation and suggested that the police send a helicopter to pick up his niece after he arrived at the target person. After listening to his request, the police naturally did not dare to refuse. The two sides agreed to meet up on the rooftop of the stadium after 12 minutes. To save time, Michael asked Faisal to take his niece to the terrorists first. After getting the subject's number of seats, he did it alone. However, terrorists quickly captured the whereabouts of Michael through ubiquitous cameras. A large group of terrorists quickly caught up, and it was another fierce battle. Michael drives a motorcycle and dashes from left to right. In the end, with the help of Faisal, he got rid of the threat and successfully found the target person. After escaping the terrorist pursuit, Michael hurriedly goes to the rooftop with the target character. He successfully drags the target character to the roof. At this time, the police helicopter has arrived at the specified location, but Michael still does not see his niece. Suddenly, there is a sound coming from the radio. It turns out that the niece has been captured by them, and Arkady threatens that if Michael hands his brother over to the police, he can only get his niece's body back. With no other choice, Michael eventually decides to agree to Arkady's request and trade the target character for his niece, but he demands that the exchange location is on the roof of the building. After a few minutes, the two sides exchange on the rooftop, but Michael doesn't really hand over the target character, but disguises himself as Arkady's brother and slowly walks towards Arkady under the strong light. After confirming the safety of his granddaughter, Michael suddenly pulls out a pistol and starts a fierce battle. At this time, the police also get the notice in advance and dispatch the helicopter to join the battle. During the melee, Michael jumps down from the rooftop regardless of his life to grab the bomb remote control. Luckily, he was able to grab the giant banner just in time, which eventually landed on the stadium's bulletin board. However, the crisis did not end here. A female killer follows in relentless pursuit, and after another fierce battle, Michael manages to get rid of the female killer. But when he turns on the remote control, he realizes it was a fake device. It turned out that the terrorists had already set the bomb to explode at a fixed time. With just 90 minutes of the game over, 100 kilogram bombs will blow everything into wood pulp. On the other hand, the target character wants to escape with Michael's niece, but is still captured by terrorists. To stop his brother's plan, the target character chooses to commit suicide. He couldn't bear to let everyone die because of their terrorist activities. Arkady gets angry. He grabs the girl and goes to the live TV broadcast, saying he will detonate a bomb and leave countless people buried with him. Michael hears the news and quickly asks Faisal to evacuate the group of people in the stands. Minutes later, the crowd above the stands had been evacuated, and with a loud noise, the entire stand was instantly blown to powder. Arkady puts a gun to the girl's forehead to threaten Michael. Just when he was about to put down his weapon, the girl, looking for the right moment, suddenly broke free from the bondage, and he quickly opened fire. After 2 shots were fired, the evil leader of the terrorists fell into a pool of blood. Michael saved not only his niece, but also countless lives by himself. Alright, my video ends here. Like and subscribe to watch more videos like this. Don't forget to turn your notifications. That really supports my channel. Goodbye.